It has been now 3 weeks since the Apple Vision Pro came out, and yes, I guess I'm one of those people that did not return within the 14-day grace period to bring it back. And that was a very conscious decision. I like it, and this video is going to tell you why, and also definitely going to go over the things that I do not like. But first and foremost, yes, I'm happy I kept it. I think that number one thing for me has been productivity. And what I mean by that is primarily having the ability to mirror your Mac screen onto this thing the same way that you would mirror it to an Apple TV or say an iPad has tremendously impacted my productivity, on the positive side, because I have the biggest screen I could possibly imagine to really focus in. And whether I want to multitask and say, have Twitter on one side and Apple Music or YouTube or like something else here and there, or if I want to just simply concentrate and dial in one of those environments almost entirely around me and only have my Mac screen to concentrate and dial it in just so much as I can see the keyboard and the mouse as I'm typing in, but just concentrate. That has been absolutely amazing. Now, that is what I've used it the most for, and frankly, I'm not really sure if that's what Apple intended with it. Actually, I'm sure that's not really what they intended, but it is what I've found the most use for with this device. That being said, I think the other enjoyable thing about having this has been definitely media consumption. And primarily, I'm talking about Apple TV Plus immersive experience. Now, there's not a whole lot of content yet. There's some, not a whole lot, but it is truly breathtaking. It's incredible. It is perhaps nothing incredibly novel for anybody who's experienced VR before, but I think that the promise is great, and I cannot wait to see what else is going to come in terms of that. Now, other than the immersive experience, the regular media consumption, say any type of YouTube video or in any of the other Apple TV Plus content, looks fantastic. And yes, I mean, it's something that is just so enjoyable to watch, and just in such a massive screen that you can just kind of put anywhere. You can sit back, relax, and it's a great way of really getting the best out of this machine. Now, that reminds me that as you are looking at things, say for example like a movie or a piece of film or something like that, you're probably going to be leaning back, or ideally, and I should say ideally because this thing, if you've heard from other people that have used it for a while, it is not only heavy, but it is heavier than I thought. Or, I was running it for hours and hours at a time, trying to believe it wasn't heavy. It is. And the way that I discovered that it was heavier than I really wish it could be is, of all things, because of pains I started to feel around my neck. And these are pains, that little kind of aches that I haven't felt before, unless I'm going to a really death metal concert. I'm just headbanging all the way. This is a different kind of little strains here and there that you feel on the neck. Anybody else who has had also Vision Pro, if you can confirm, this is true, because this is what's happening to me. I think that the most I've worn it in a single go has been 3+ hours, and I certainly felt it. So that is one of the definitely things that hasn't been as enjoyable. Also, if you wear it for, in my case, at least 40 to 50 minutes, you already see what I like to call Apple Vision face, or Apple Vision Pro face, which is it looks like you're almost tan, or you almost see the shape of the device around your face. It's pretty noticeable. It takes me a while to get rid of those markings. I like it pretty tight because I don't want any light leaking into it. But yeah, it's not the most comfortable thing, if I'm being honest. There is also the aspect of the cable, this thing that is attached, that you have to carry around with you everywhere. Now, this might look annoying, and if you looked at the Apple promos, they're not always showing the cable. But yeah, it's a reality. You have to carry this thing around. But talking about carrying or moving around, frankly, this is a device that I am almost certain it wasn't intended for you to be moving around. Like you've seen some people online, perhaps, that just skateboarding or skiing or anything like that. Yeah, fun, whatever. I guess you could use it outside, but you're not meant to be moving around with it. So if this is sitting on your desk, or perhaps you can put it on a pocket if you have to, you move from your desk to the kitchen to the door, it's not that big of a deal. I understand why they did it. This thing is heavy enough. I don't understand enough about physics and weight distribution to suggest anything better, but it is front heavy naturally, hence the neck pain. And And this is not so much a problem for me, unless, for example, and it already happened to me, that you forget it's probably sitting on your desk and you maybe stand up really quickly, you forgot, and you pull it, it falls to the floor, etc. But I'm sure everybody an Apple Vision Pro has experienced this at least once. But this is not too much of an issue for me. I think you're really mostly meant to be primarily stationary. Is it a big deal? Not right now. Also, amongst many other things, say for example, movies or productivity, there is the aspect of communication via FaceTime, Microsoft Teams, Zoom. Zoom is one of those apps, along with Microsoft Teams, that launched from the beginning with Apple Vision Pro. And I actually have been taking quite a few calls on Zoom on it. And I don't know if this is just me, but I have heard of at least a couple of people experiencing issues with Zoom in terms of like you lose the audio and the video doesn't sync, and essentially it takes either leaving the call and coming back in, or simply, as it happened to me a couple of times, having to restart the Apple Vision Pro entirely, just full restart in order to join the Zoom call again. Now, this is obviously probably, I would imagine, on Zoom's part. They need to fix that, but very, very buggy. And it happens to be one of the use cases that I've encountered the most, despite what people may say about how personas look and how much they look like a PlayStation 2 character. But it is one of the things that I've used the most in these last 3 weeks, is just simply Zoom calls, taking Zoom calls on it. But very buggy experience, primarily with the audio. That is one thing that has been rather frustrating, but that I'm sure they will fix eventually. Now, let's come to a now more informed verdict about the Apple Vision Pro. I'm very happy I got it. I obviously didn't return it. I was never planning on returning it, but even if I was not planning on returning it and maybe I was disappointed, I would have. I didn't. And it's because I truly believe in what's coming for this device and overall for spatial computing in general. This is just the beginning, and I'm here for it because I am a self-proclaimed early adopter, and that's what I like to do, even if it sometimes fails, like so many other things that I have bought has. But I would say that this is probably not truly worth it for the majority of the people, unless you have absolutely nothing better to do with nearly $4,000. That, if you've got a cash to spend and you want to try it out, absolutely. Is this right now, and I'm going to make emphasis on right now, is this solving a problem for the majority of the people in a way that no other thing would? No. Absolutely not. I would even go as far as to say that right now, even for me, this is perhaps 30% useful, 70% expensive toy at the moment. I know that this is how I feel about it right now, but I can also recall feeling like this about the iPad. And the iPad has slowly but surely become a thing that gets closer and closer and closer to being a laptop replacement. It's not there yet, but it's closer than ever, and it's been going that way. So I'm not entirely sure if the Apple Vision Pro or anything spatial computing device like coming from Apple or anybody else is going to be fully laptop replacement right now or in the near future, but it has the potential. I believe it has the potential to become a unique experience that it's complementary to that of the computer or say the mobile phone. So right now, the majority of the experiences that you get to see on the Apple Vision Pro are 2D representations of what you otherwise would see on a computer or an iPad, on your phone. You just get to move them everywhere. Yes, there's that ability to make them as big, as small as you want to. Cool, I guess, but like, is that breathtaking or like just completely earth-shattering? No. But it is, and I'm going to say this again, the beginning of something I believe unprecedented and incredible. I already cannot wait for the second and third and fourth version of this. I will gladly do away with all the things that are not quite there yet, and I will just try and look the other way, I guess, or just ignore them for a while, because I know that coming up with something like this must not have been easy. But I am overall, very, very happy with the way that I've been using it. Again, productivity for now, and media consumption. Anything else, it's hopefully probably on its way. But yeah, that's what I think after nearly a month using it. If you have any thoughts and opinions, share them in the comments. Let me know what has been your experience with Apple Vision Pro, and maybe you can teach me something new along the way. And I will be continuing to use this every day as I have, and as more apps become available for this device, it's going to be interesting to see how much this turns into not just a fancy expensive toy, and more into something that starts to find its own way amongst the many devices that many of us currently have. Thank you so much for watching, and see you on the next one.